Hey, hi, I'm Angel. Thanks for stopping by. Check out this view. I'm up in Sandia Mountains, my home mountains, just about 45 minutes away from my front door. And I thought I'd take a quick pit stop and just give you three snowboarding tips. The top three snowboarding tips that I received when I was first starting out and that I still use today. And that, if you were asking me for some tips as a beginner snowboarder, here's what I'd say. Number one is, the first day is the most brutal, and so you need to learn how to get up. Nobody told me this my first day, and I wish they had. And then my second day, I took a lesson, which I do recommend, and the guy taught me to turn over. So check it out. So often you're gonna fall backwards your first day, or slide on your butt, and instead of trying to get up this way, which is gonna make you slide forward on your board and gonna be real tough when you haven't got the hang of it yet, possibly, the thing to do is roll over, flip over, and then you just stand up. It's nice and easy. It's way easier than getting up, especially if you're doing it a lot in a day. So that's tip number one, roll over. I'm gonna come back down here and give you tip number two. I'll show you rolling over. It's a little tricky, but it's a good thing to practice. It's actually quite easy. And that way then you're just standing up instead of getting up like a sit-up position. Way easier. So that's handy dandy tip number one. Might seem too easy if you're just starting out, but again, I wish somebody had told me that my first day. Tip number two. Don't be afraid to try out different stances, different binding arrangements. I rode a year and a half before I figured out that I'm what they call goofy. I'm dominant on my offside foot. I just stand. My stance is opposite from the normal, kind of like being left-handed. Some of us are goofy, and I ride okay on the other direction. And in fact, I'm glad I put in the time I did riding the opposite way. But I think I would have progressed a lot quicker if I had switched up my bindings and my foot arrangement earlier on instead of waiting so long. And also just, there's different ways that you can arrange your feet. Try out different things. Don't be afraid to experiment. You might find that something is way easier than something else. And rather than torture yourself with the hard thing just because that's how somebody else does it, find the way that works best for your body. That's tip number two for beginner snowboarders. And tip number three, my favorite tip, which I still think about fairly often, is steer with the bottoms of your feet. So rather than trying to throw your body around using your weight, using your torso, using your shoulders, all of which you probably will do. But if you can just relax, just stand on top of that board, the board's gonna go down the mountain really fast all on its own, and you just got to stay on top of it. And if you can learn to stay glued to your board and then also steer with your toes. So if I want to go that way, I push with my toes on my forward foot. If I want to go that way, I push. It takes such a subtle amount of pressure with any of your toes to change your direction. I encourage you to try it out. You might just be blown away because you might be spending a lot more energy than you need to. I don't know if I perfected it, but I practiced this navigating tool quite a lot when I was riding with some broken ribs, and I could not afford to fall at all. So I stayed nice and grounded down and just practiced on, my form and my function. And in that, I really learned to trust that if I can remember to just bend my knees, balance on my board, and steer with my feet, the board goes as if magic, as if butter, everywhere I want it to go. I hope those help you a little. They certainly help me. Like I said, those are the top three tips that I still use for snowboarding and that I wish I had, known my first day, and that I'm grateful I learned on my second and subsequent days. I'm about to turn 50 years old, and I took up snowboarding around 39. I'm 49 this year, so I've been snowboarding a good decade, feeling more in love with it than ever. Check out this view. I'm up in the Sandia Mountains. Let me just give you a little taste of that. It is a spectacular sunny New Mexican day. It's kind of special thing that you don't get everywhere, but we get here fairly often. So I feel lucky to be alive. I feel lucky to be able to offer you these three tips. I'd love to know if you have some tips to share for beginner snowboarders or for more advanced snowboarders. Please do share those in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Share this video if you think that any of my three tips might be helpful for someone else, or you just find me and my hat entertaining. Snowboarding. Made this hat myself, in case you were wondering. As always, I wish you lightheartedness, laughter, playful conflict resolution, peaceful conflict resolution, playfulness. Don't forget to drive forward. And let me recap those tips. Roll over, steer with your feet, and did I get to the third one? Don't be afraid to play with different binding positions. Try out different feet forward. Try something new. You just might like it. Ciao for now.